Welcome to this edition of the Summit View. I'm your host, Matthew McIntyre. Today we're going to discuss portfolio management, a critical area of financial planning, especially for retirees. And with me today is Peak American Financial Portfolio Manager, the great Robert Blair. Robert, welcome.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that.
Great introduction, right? Great. You probably would like that introduction every day.
Every day would work.
Robert, tell our audience a little bit, as the portfolio manager of a investment advisor firm, what you actually do day to day, and what does a portfolio manager actually do, and what are you responsible for?
Sure. I guess ultimately I'm responsible for the allocation and management of all of our clients' assets. On a day-to-day basis, usually what I'm doing is I'll start the day kind of reviewing a few Wall Street Journal articles. I have one research firm that sends emails every morning that cover kind of political concerns or political changes, some technical analysis of the market as a whole, some economic research, some fixed income research. So I kind of read through all of those articles, all of that research that comes in, just to get an idea of kind of what the market's doing internally, so that we can be aware of where dollars are flowing, where investors are moving assets, where large institutions are moving assets, just to get an idea of, are we positioned correctly? Does it look like there's some things coming up down the road that maybe we need to adjust for? Really, the actual changing of the portfolio, maybe I'm not doing day to day, but more just research and analyzing and making sure we're in a good position.
Robert, that brings me to my next question. It's probably where you got your glasses, is from all the reading you do. You probably have perfect vision before you were a portfolio manager. You do a lot of reading, you do a lot of research. Can you describe for me kind of your philosophy for Peak American, for your clients? You're not day trading, and you're not a set it, forget it guy, right? I think both of those are ditches you've told me you like to avoid. You told me before you're kind of a tactical portfolio manager.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain to the audience what that means?
Sure. So, you did bring up, I think a lot of people ask, well, are you guys active managers? And in my mind, what an active managers do, I mean, they're buying and selling, they're moving, and on the opposite spectrum, like you mentioned, is kind of the set it and forget it. Your 60-40 mix and just kind of letting it play itself out. So, tactical to me means we are making allocation changes as we see the market changing. So, unless every alarm bell in the world goes off, we're never going to just sell to cash. And so sometimes that's what active managers do, is they'll sell out 100%. Sure. And realistically, we believe that time in the market is what's important. So tactical management to me is just, as the market changes, as different sectors start to lead, let's say the S&P, there's 11 kind of broad sectors that make up all the companies in the S&P, and at certain times, others are driving kind of the growth in the market. So we just want to tactically make changes as we see the market makeup change, so that we're able to, if the market's pulling back, there's still going to be sectors that are either still up or they're not participating in the pullback as much as others. So you can adjust as you see things changing, so that you're never, I guess I shouldn't say never, but you're not participating as much in that pullback because of the way that you're allocated.
Right. So, no, I think that's wise. And so when you're talking active, I've seen this happen with clients coming in. They're frustrated with their current portfolio manager or the current advisor because they're getting hit with big tax bills. And I think a lot of times I've learned from you, and I've watched you, and I've asked you, what you're doing. So you're also keeping an eye on the client's tax situation, because that can hurt their returns too.
Sure.
If they end up paying a lot of their gains to Uncle Sam, right?
Yeah.
What do you So, Robert, when let me ask you a question. There's so much noise. I mean, even you walk into our office, there's a huge plasma TV with CNBC going on there, or Fox Business News, and there's so much noise day to day because they've got ads to sell, right? One day, you get the head of the news is, man, the market's never going to stop racing. Get in while you can. Everybody's making 25%. The next day is sell everything. How do you keep your head about you and keep all that noise out of your decision making and maintain a steady hand?
Sure. So uh, some of that is, deliberate. I don't watch CNN and MSNBC. You know, I try to get uh, the news that I'm reading from, the research firm is non-biased. They're talking about what the market's doing. They're talking about what our current administration is doing, what they see coming down the road, how they think that will affect things from an economic standpoint. It's just they're giving us what they're seeing from surveys, what they're seeing from payroll numbers, just what they see. And in the past, what has that meant? Um, I have another new kind of research platform that it combines news from everywhere. And so if I hear something or read something in the journal, I can kind of put that into this platform, and then it'll pull up articles that discuss similar topics. And you can, you know, to me, a lot of times what people read online is purely, everybody's heard clickbait titles. They'll
Sure.
title the article so somebody will click on it and open it because that drives
Right.
business
Eyeballs.
and
Right.
eyeballs and advertising. So a lot of times those articles are sensationalized and it's not necessarily true.
Right.
So it's just, I'll read it it helps to know what clients are reading and kind
Sure.
of what they're seeing. But typically I try to find information that uh, talks to both sides.
Right. Yeah, I think that's wise. We live in such a polarized time where everybody's either, red in their politics or blue in their politics, and money's green,
Yeah.
right? Money is neither, right? And so I think you're wise doing that. That's interesting. I know you're a certified financial planner. Um, as a portfolio manager, you've got a big job. I mean, this is responsibility. People are trusting you with their life savings, including me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm keeping an eye on you as well. You grew up outside of Houston. You ended up going to TCU on a college scholarship to swim,
Mhm.
and so you were a swimmer at a D1 school. As an athlete, you still look like you could swim a few laps today. How did that help you in your current job as far as discipline and getting up? I've talked about before. I can't even imagine how much workout and how much training. Both you and your wife were collegiate
Mhm.
swimmers, and I think she's a CPA now. How did that help you in your current profession?
Sure. I think being an athlete, especially, you know, uh, swimming's kind of an individual sport. Uh, the ultimate competition is usually at the very end of the season. So everything up to that point is work to get to this race that might last 50 seconds
Mm,
or, less than 2 minutes, depending on what it is. And uh, you just kind of have to have faith that what you're doing, though it's monotonous and the same thing, that the end game is
mm,
what your sights are on. So uh, it plays into life, it plays into business, that it's nothing's going to happen the first time you walk in the door. It's going to be it's the work that you do day after day. It's the discipline of doing the research, reading the articles, just knowing, hey, we may not be making any changes, but we need to know where we're headed, what's affecting where
mm.
things are going. So it's just the mindset of uh, nothing's easy. It takes work. It takes time. You have to sacrifice, and you know, also just enjoying those mundane little things as
Sure.
you go.
Yeah,
So
that,
just
it's. I'm listening to you, and it really is a great analogy of what you do. Every day you got to come in, you got to do the work, you got to do the research. And that race, sometimes that race may be. I was talking to Scott Schweitzer, your partner here at Peak, and he's talking about how the markets will have sometimes you'll capture a lot of your gains in 2 or 3 days, and if
mhm.
people are in the market, so that discipline, it sounds like that you gathered as a collegiate swimmer serves you well in your job. It's every day you coming in, you're putting in your laps, and you never know and what day you're racing,
Yeah,
and when it's time, you better be prepared.
you better be ready.
So you've been at this how long? How long have you been in the financial service business?
Since 2004, so right about 22 years.
Okay, so you lived through the joyous time of 2008
Hmm.
and 2010. You've lived through a couple things. I remember we had the Russian financial crisis. I want to say that was that in 15? I can't remember. I remember I'm sitting at the airport, and all I know is my portfolio dropped a little bit, but it bounced back. And of course, you've lived through the COVID era. What did all those different tumultuous events? What did it teach you as far as managing money?
Well, that those market pullbacks on an event are usually not long. It's the pullbacks are driven by just recessions or economic changes, slowing business growth, those kind of things. That's longer lasting. But if COVID, for instance, it was just a bunch of unknown. We didn't know what was going to happen. So rightfully, people worry and
Sure.
pull money out of the market. But in that type of event, that's not going to last forever. Things are going to get figured out. Cures, vaccine, whatever it is,
Sure.
eventually it will get worked out. And sure enough, the market was down, 30+%. But I think from kind of March 23rd-ish to the end of the year, the S&P was up over 60%.
That's
So
crazy. Yeah.
it's, not reacting
Right.
to just kind of these non-economic events. If somebody decides to invade somebody else, we can't do anything about that, but that's not going to last
Gotcha.
for
So
forever.
again, same thing as when you were a collegiate swimmer. Just get in the pool, do your
Yeah.
laps, and let's see how it goes.
Yeah. I mean,
Um, what do you enjoy the most about what you do, Robert, as far as a portfolio manager?
really what I enjoy is seeing uh, the clients achieve, the goals they've set out, seeing them, over my career, I've been able to see people save, for years and then finally decide, hey, I'm going to retire, I'm going to pull the trigger, and then seeing them be able to enjoy that retirement, see them come in with questions and walk out, you know, kind of sighing and just saying, okay, I feel better, everything's going to be good, we're still on the great path, and then seeing them just enjoy life. That's really what brings
Yeah,
me
it's got to be
joy.
rewarding, right?
Yeah,
Because you put all this stuff in. I know you're up on technology. I know you're up on your research. It's got to be rewarding to see it pay off, right? And to see that person who's trusted you, to see them get to the finish line and enjoy the fruits of their labor and actually get there.
yeah,
Yeah, it's got to be rewarding.
for sure. It,
Um,
it definitely is.
Robert Blair, thanks for meeting with us today. Thanks for sharing with our audience. We've enjoyed having Robert Blair. He's the portfolio manager at Peak American Investment Advisors, CFP. Great guy. He's got the glasses to prove it. He does his research. I'm Matthew McIntyre. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Summit View.